welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a sibling happy hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about Trump. And then we're going to be talking about sexuality. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. I can call one thing.
What's that?
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, yes.
I know this has been a reoccurring theme over the summer, but I'm going to continue on with this theme because it's continuously sucking. Let me explain.
If the theme continuing with you, you continue with the theme.
Repeat that for the people out there.
I said if the theme continuing with you, you continue with the theme.
Right. Okay. So my headphones are bigger than what they should be.
Okay.
And it becomes very difficult for them to stay on my head when I'm in the gym working out because I got a bald head. I don't have any hair to stop the sweat. So they'll routinely fall off my head if I'm doing certain exercises.
So you mean your head is too small for your headphones?
I don't really think that's the case. I think my headphones are just big and I don't have no hair.
I think the headphone sizes are pretty universal.
Tomato. Anyway, I was saying, I was doing this one particular exercise and I was on the incline bench. And every time I sat up, my headphones kept falling off my head. So I was getting annoyed by this. Typically, when you were doing something on an incline bench, you put your dumbbells on your knees and you put your feet on the ground. It's kind of like a self spot, right?
Okay.
I was routinely doing that. I got so tired of my headphones falling off of my head every time I did that. I said, the hell with this. I'm going to just drop the weights by the side and then sit up so my headphones don't fall off my head. Because the whole thing is I'm annoyed that my headphones are falling off my head.
Yes.
Well, when I decide to put the weights by my side, all of a sudden I hear a crunch. Drop the 60-pound dumbbell on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Now, I dropped it on the front screen. So I look at the front screen and there's no break in the glass. Mind you, I also have a case protector. So I'm like, what happened? I forgot.
Because there was a crunch.
There was a crunch. I forgot there's glass on the back of the phone. So I flipped the phone. Sure enough, all of it is cracked. I'm like, that don't make no sense. But the phone is still working. So I'm happy. I'm like, you know what? It's in this protector sleeve or whatever.
Yeah.
It still works. I'm all good.
Put a case on it. Keep it moving. Nobody has to know.
30 minutes later, I don't get any cell service. The phone is searching hard for some cell service.
Okay.
So I come home, I text you. Hey, you get this text? Yeah. Why? Because I have an iPhone and I'm using the Wi-Fi so I can get text messages and phone calls from iPhones. But I'm not getting any text messages from anything that's not an iPhone. So I'll run up to the Verizon store. Mind you, don't have no car. It's a mile away. It's hot and I just finished working out and I'm pissed off. Okay.
So that's like the trifecta.
Right. You hot.
Just being aggravated.
You hot. You ain't got no car, so you got to walk outside and you just finished working out and you mad.
Yeah.
It's all those things.
Physical activity and heat.
Right.
I don't need nothing else to have a hell of a day.
Right. So I go in the Verizon store and I immediately go up to the brother. I'm like, hey, brother. He's like, hey, man, how can I help you? I said, hey, brother. He said, yeah, hey, man, how can I help you? I'm like, no, I don't think you understand this back and forth. I said, drop a dumbbell on my phone. How heavy was the dumbbell? I was like 60 pounds. He's like, yeah, okay, let me see what I could do. So I'm going to give credit to the brother.
Feels irrelevant. But...
No, like, how heavy was it? Right? If it's a 15-pound dumbbell, maybe the phone isn't completely destroyed. Anything heavier at a certain point, like pretty much it's going to be destroyed.
All I gotta do is see that back glass to know that the phone has been destroyed.
Well, he says, yeah, I see the black back glass has been messed up, but
Hmm.
you're still getting the Wi-Fi signal and your phone is still being receptive. Let me do
Hmm.
a couple of things to see if I can't try to make the cell signal connect. And my man, bruh man worked on it for a good 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it to connect.
Okay. It was on life support and he had to pull the
Yeah.
plug.
And
Mm.
then he opened the SIM card and he was like, oh, this is it. He was like, your receiver, your antenna, your cellular antenna has been damaged. He was like, we can sit here and wait for a while, see if the signal comes back. I was like, what are my other options? Well, get a new phone.
Yeah.
So had to get a new phone. Was mad
Yeah.
because my old phone was completely paid off. But got a new phone. It is what
Yeah.
it is. The new phone is fancier, but
Well,
I
that's nice.
immediately bought a new case.
Yeah. Yeah. I have now like a tough case on it, and I don't even care if my phone doesn't look cool.
I'm
Like,
just
it's like,
saying.
oh, yeah, pretty case. And okay, is that gonna save it from me?
Mhm.
Is that gonna protect my phone from who I am as a person and the number of times that I'm gonna drop it?
Right.
No, go on, get you them heavy duty cases and that glass screen protector.
Mhm. You
You
know who
let that crank.
you know who you sound like right now?
Who?
Mom. Because
Yes.
when we was younger, she used to give us those rough and tough, sturdy jeans because we'd be
Yes.
outside playing in jeans and always get holes in the knee part. And we're like,
Yes.
Mom, we don't like these jeans. These are
No.
the nice
Those
designer
were
jeans.
ours were denim. Like
Yeah.
y'all don't understand. It was raw denim. Like those are the most unforgiving. You can't squat.
Y'all don't know nothing about Lee jeans or
Yes.
Bugle Boy jeans.
Them raw denim jeans. That denim weighed 173 pounds and it did not give.
I always thought I was slow. Come to find out, it was just them jeans weighing me down. I couldn't race
Yeah.
nobody in them
We had
jeans.
the strongest thighs in third grade. That didn't make no sense.
I ain't win not one field day because I'm out there in them tough jeans, them double jeans, the jeans. Them jeans is 15 pounds and I only weigh 85.
Right.
I can't move.
So why your thighs so strong? Where you gotta wear these jeans?
Yeah, these jeans, that was our childhood. What's going on with you? What do you want to tell the world? Oh, before I had it here in the rundown and completely we was about to dilly dally right past it. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, we want to give you guys an update on the show. We're doing a little switcheroo. My sister is starting grad school. Schedule is changing. So the sibling happy hours will start to come. Well, starting next week. This is the last Friday sibling happy hour. The sibling happy hours will be coming out on Tuesday. And then my own show or the show with the interviews will be coming out on Friday. Still
Yep.
releasing shows Tuesday and Friday. They just flip flop.
Just flip flop. That's all
Just
that
flip
is.
flop.
It's just
So
flip flop.
y'all
So
gonna
you
get
hear me
double
on
bangs.
Tuesday instead of
Yeah,
Friday. Yeah.
right. And y'all gonna get double bang, right? Because y'all getting a sibling happy
No,
hour.
I don't know if I love that.
Oh, as Cam and Mace would say, whoa.
You said it
I said it, but that's not y'all getting
twice.
back-to-back episodes of
Yeah.
the sibling happy hour. So y'all gonna get one Friday, which is today, or whenever you listening to it, and get
Yeah.
another one on Tuesday. So y'all getting
Yes.
back-to-back sibling happy hours. We just changing up. Y'all still getting my sister because she said she would never leave her audience. That ain't really what she
Never.
said. She said, you tricked me into doing this, Bruce, and now I'm stuck. She was right.
Just a little from column A, a little from column B. Listen, I I am stuck, but I enjoy it. So I said, how can I still be a part of the show now that my schedule is becoming a little different? So he
I,
just said we're just gonna flip flop, and that's all.
I am literally, though, going to drop the with Bruce Anthony in the title of the podcast because this is the reason why. I am very grateful for every guest that comes
Yeah.
on the show,
Yeah.
but they're always like, really glad to do a show with you and your sister. And like, no, that's That's not what's happening. I'm interviewing you. My
Yeah.
sister's not going to be on that show. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can come on another time after we do our show and with your sister. I was like, I don't know how logistically that's going to work because my sister loved to talk. Actually, I love to talk and I can't really talk during my interviews. So
I am very good. Well, I don't know how good I am at interviewing because I've never done it before. But I assume because I have a false sense of self that I'm very good at interviewing. I'm just going to say, let's run with that. I think I would be good at an interview.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't be good. I don't know how the logistics work with 3 people. I've done an episode with 3 people.
Mm.
One of those, granted, it was one of the earlier episodes that I ever did, but it is tough to juggle that. Somebody has to be the moderator.
Yes.
And so there's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just be the moderator. And then that sucks because I don't want to just be the moderator. I got something to say.
I mean, but that's how it is, though. When you turn on the news, you see them talking to multiple guests. The host is typically the moderator.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. Okay. I don't want to do that.
That is the whole premise of your show.
No, it's not. That's not the premise of my show.
You are the host and you are interviewing guests.
Yeah. No, I don't mind that, but I'm talking about.
You are the moderator.
No, I don't mind. No, I'm the interviewer. That's different than being a moderator.
When you have more than one guest, you're moderating at that point.
I only moderated one time and I didn't like it. That's what I'm trying to say. I was hosting and moderating. That sucked because I'm sitting there and it's like, oh, this question is for you. Or I would just leave out a question and 2 people would talk over top of each other. It becomes very difficult. It does.
Well, that's when you say so-and-so, and then you have the question. So the person knows that you're talking to them.
Well, one, also, you ain't got no time. Okay. So it's
that
not
is
like
also it.
It's not like an interview is going to take up a sibling happy hour. And there'll be a revolt if people don't get a sibling happy hour. So if the choice is we get you once a week, it's the sibling happy hour, not on the interview.
Right.
That's just what it is.
I agree. And that's what it is, guys. I'm sorry.
But I am going to drop the with Bruce Anthony because everybody always asks for you to show. Might as well just be Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce and Jay.
It's just Unsolicited Perspectives.
No, I didn't already made logos.
With Bruce Anthony. Just keep it.
Yeah, my favorite podcast, one of my favorite podcasts is the Dan Lebertard Show.
Yeah.
With Stu Gotts. I mean, so it's just Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony and the Sibling Happy Hour with Jay Aundrea. Maybe I just should change the name of this particular episode and say it's Unsolicited Perspectives, the Sibling Happy Hour. That's probably what I should do and create a new logo. It's not a different podcast, still under the Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony family, but it's the Sibling Happy Hour. That's what I should do.
In real time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
That's how ideas are born.
That's how ideas are born, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do production in this.
Norman.
Are you excited about starting grad school?
I am. I've been honestly, I've been on the edge of my seat this entire summer, ever since I got accepted, because I'm excited about the subject matter and just to start something new. So this is literally the first time in my life that in 40 years that I've ever been excited to go to school, because I've never been excited to go to school. So just the idea of doing something new, I think it's just really exciting for me.
That's really dope. But I gotta ask you a question. You never been excited to go to school? Not even the first day of school when you put on your new fit?
No.
What about going to college the first time?
No. Because honestly, in our household, it was a requirement.
What, going to school?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's in anybody's household. It's a requirement.
No, going to college.
Was it a requirement?
I thought it was.
No, I think mom and dad, well, I'm sure we felt that way because they had gone to college, right?
Yeah.
But if we had come up with a different plan, mom and dad has always been super supportive of what we wanted to do. They just wanted to make sure we had a backup plan.
That's true.
And back in the day, it was like you go to college to get a degree
Yeah.
so that you can get a job to go to work. Now, I mean, college is still important. I
Yeah.
think it's important for your personal development as a person to
Yes.
leave the nest and go immerse your world in a world that you didn't know existed and
Yes.
meet people from different walks of life. I think that's how we kind of solve this human problem of people just
Oh, you mean by learning?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
I would say, yes. I feel like if you would like to grow as a person, you should start with learning.
Right. But I don't think mom and dad was just like, you gotta go to school. They were just like,
I don't know, I felt like it was like, okay, I had to go. Or, like, go to the armed services or something like that,
well, we
which I
wouldn't, well, none of
think
us doing
about.
that.
Yeah,
Really?
I did think about that, about the Air Force, actually.
But we
So
was
that
at war.
No, you remember the towers fell my senior year of high school.
Oh, so you would have started the ROTC program like before that, before senior year. You would start in like junior year or something like that.
Right, and most of
Okay.
the people, in my senior class that enlisted, they did it the summer before your senior year.
Hmm.
So they had all signed their paperwork, and then we start school on September 11th.
Hmm.
Next thing you
Yeah.
know, we're at war, and
Yeah.
so that was my class that
Yeah.
went. Okay. So I did think about that, but it was just yeah, but college, undergrad, just it was a slog for me. Like I just dragged through it. I got through it, but I just
Hmm.
kind of dragged through it because my heart really wasn't in it. But now I don't know, I feel like it's just making this decision on my own
Hmm.
and studying something that really interests me. I'm very interested in data science, so um, it just feels different.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited for a new chapter. You know how Black women are. When we get
You
complacent, you get a degree or a
on the
LLC.
LLC. I should have that. I should copyright that and sell
Yeah, you
that
should.
and sell that at the next Essence Festival.
I hate you. 'Cause they would sell out.
They would sell out at the
They
Essence
would
Fest.
sell out your first. Why did you say I suspect?
because
I
because
I hate
because I know business.
I hate your
I know business. Matter of fact, when is the next Essence Fest? I'm gonna start making up these
Essence
shirts.
Fest is always July 4th weekend.
All right, well, next July 4th weekend, I'm gonna have them shirts and be out there selling them. Right after my 45th birthday, I'm like, hey, support a young brother turning 45.
That young brother turning 45.
Why can't I be a young brother turning 45?
Young brother, almost 50.
Oh, well, this is a perfect segue. Because
Yeah,
speaking of Black people and conventions,
and nonsense.
well, that too. Trump was at a Black convention yesterday, and we're going to talk about it next. So, Jay, you sent me a text message earlier
Mhm.
today and was like, we got to talk about this. And I said, it's already on the rundown. Don't even
Okay.
worry about it.
We was on the same
We
page.
was on the same page. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. But for the audience, they were like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Well, if you've been living under a rock, and maybe you have, or maybe this just isn't in your wheelhouse, the National Association of Black Journalists, or the NABJ, is a nonprofit organization that advocates for Black journalists and media professionals in the US and worldwide. Founded in 1975, the NABJ provides innovative programs and services to its members, which includes emerging journalists, professional journalists, student journalists, journalism educators, and media professionals. The NABJ's mission includes strengthening ties among Black journalists, and media professionals, promoting fairness in the workplace for Black journalists, expanding job opportunities and providing professional development, increasing the number of Black journalists in management positions, honoring excellence and outstanding achievements by Black journalists, encouraging Black students to pursue journalism careers, And the NABJ also hosts an annual national convention and career fair, which is one of the largest in its kind every year. This, I think it's always in Chicago. It features workshops, panels, special events, all that.
Mhm.
They extended an invitation for Donald J. Trump, the former president, to have an interview for all these Black journalists. Now, just a little aside,
Mm.
I heard from a Black journalist that typically, this interview was done on a Wednesday, that typically um, the majority of the Black journalists don't come until Thursday night. So this was strategic in having this interview done on a Wednesday where there wouldn't be as many Black journalists there, because there was a little hoopla over the fact that he even got an invitation. I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what he did during the interview. So former President Donald Trump was recently interviewed by the NABJ annual convention in Chicago. During the interview, Trump made controversial comments questioning Vice President Kamala Harris' racial identity, asking whether she is Indian or Black. This has sparked criticism and further discussions about race identity in politics. Let's focus on him questioning Kamala Harris's racial identity. Trump questioned Vice President Harris's racial identity, asking whether she is Indian or Black. He falsely asserted that Harris was Indian all the way, his words, Indian all the way, and suddenly, his words, became a Black person. But that's not how he said it. He said became a Black person. That was how he said it. This has been widely criticized in his attempt to undermine Harris's identity and qualifications. This is not attack. I wouldn't say it's an attack. Fair criticism of accusations of racism against Donald J. Trump, because his comments have been seen as racially insensitive and have reinitiated accusations of racism against him, because these are racist comments. His remark about Harris's heritage and his history of making inflammatory statements on racial issues have drawn significant backlash. The response from the NABJ members, the decision to invite Trump to the NABJ convention, was a controversial one from the start. Some NABJ members expressed concerns about giving him a platform, and one member even stepped down as co-chair of the event. The interview itself was intense, with Trump accusing one of the Black moderators of being very rude. Now, he wouldn't want me to be a moderator, because we know I don't even like being a moderator in the first place, and I would probably be very rude. He also said something about the January 6th rioters. Trump had stated that he would absolutely pardon those convicted in the January 6th attack if they were innocent. I don't even know what that even means. So, Jay, before I get to some of this other stuff,
Yeah.
you want to talk about it.
Yes.
I gave people the whole background. Go.
So you remember, I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago, I said that his biggest fear, Trump's biggest fear as a Black woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is exactly why.
Hmm.
This interview was everything I knew it would be if ever he was sat across from a Black woman who is able to ask him questions.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I knew it was going to go about this well. And the Trump campaign people could not get that man off the stage fast enough.
Yes, that is true. They rushed him off the stage relatively quickly. Yep.
He immediately was racist. I didn't know she was Black until a couple of years ago when she happened to turn Black.
He did say that. Those were his words.
Down on immigrants stealing quote unquote Black jobs. He could not help himself. There are policy positions that Vice President Harris may have held or whatnot that you could definitely interrogate.
Mm-hmm.
He is not prepared to have a policy debate, though,
Mm-mm.
with anyone.
Yeah.
Certainly not with VP Harris.
Mm-mm.
So all he has in the chamber, okay, only thing that's in that clip, black woman. That's the only thing he's got.
Not black woman. Not black woman.
Not black woman.
Yeah.
And then the audacity, because he is not the only one to do this. I've seen this talking point several times on conservative media. The audacity of white people who are the inventors of race.
This is white Americans. Let's be
Yes.
clear. White Americans are the inventors of race. Yes.
Right. To then tell us who we can consider part of our community.
Mhm.
There has never been a point in time where Kamala Harris has not been a black woman, and proudly so.
Never a point.
She is a graduate of Howard University. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
So just to be clear for the audience out there who don't know what those two institutions are, Howard University is a HBCU, historically black college, and AKAs.
They were the very first black sorority. They're over 100 years old.
Yeah. Part of the Divine Nine, black sorority. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Anytime that she has been asked, she says, I am a black woman, proudly. That is never, but she is also an Indian woman. Hey, guys, first of all, let me give you a little history on black people in America, particularly descendants of slaves. That's who I'm talking about. Descendants of enslaved people.
Well, technically, okay, she is descendant of slaves, but not descendant of slaves based in America.
Right. But
yeah,
listen.
That's what they're trying to harp on.
Yes.
And that's not because her father is Jamaican.
Right.
And
which is
Jamaican
a nationality. Which is a nationality. It is not a race. Her father is black.
Yeah, her father is black.
Okay. Black people are not indigenous to Jamaica.
This is true.
They got there one way.
One way, yeah.
The only damn way. And that's through the transatlantic slave trade.
This is
but
true.
a little something about a good majority of people in America who are descendants of slaves. We are multiracial. We have biracial, multiracial family members, or we are ourselves. That's part of our story here in America.
You see how light-skinned my sister is?
You
think
see
that just come natural?
How pigmentally challenged I am. That don't come from nothing.
If y'all are listening, pop on to the YouTube. You'll see how bright she is. I used to call her glowworm back in the day.
It's in a book. Jana's light skin. That's who we got. Okay. That's part of our story. So when we see people like Barack Obama, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Kamala Harris, we know within our community that those are black people.
Montel Jordan.
Because this is how we do it.
Right.
I don't know what Montel Jordan had to do with it.
I thought it was a funny name to throw in the mix.
Oh, because I don't.
It didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't even think it's really light
do with anything.
Yeah, but you know.
At all. But that's all right. So for them to make that sort of appeal, I guess, to black people of like, is she really one of you? You don't get to decide that.
You don't.
You truly, truly don't. You think you do because you invented race, but you don't get to decide who we consider part of our community. It was a train wreck, and I couldn't look away. And it was absolutely fantastic. But there's very much more. It was not that long. They got him off the stage as soon as they could.
It was 30 minutes. It was a good 30 minutes.
It
Yeah.
was supposed to be much longer than that, and it would have
Because it
just continued going downhill
yeah.
even further, but, that is not the only highlight from that interview, his attacks on her race. There are there's so many other highlights.
Go ahead, run through them.
Oh, I thought you were about to do that.
No, I was gonna talk about how the response of the NABJ.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I think you hit a lot of it. He made the attacks on her race,
Mhm.
starting there. He when asked if he thought she was a DEI hire, or would he challenge other people in the conservative party who have been calling her a DEI hire, he got very aggressive with the interviewer and asked her to asked her to define DEI. She said diversity, equity, and inclusion. He's like, yeah, define it. She's like, I just did.
Yes, that was hilarious.
It was hilarious,
It was
okay?
hilarious.
And he said she said, "Do you think she was hired because she was a Black woman?" And that's when he launched into her being he thought she was Indian and now she's Black and all of that. So that was a lovely, highlight. Um, when he doubled down on Black jobs and then was pressed on what a Black job is, he said, "A Black job is anybody with a job,"
Yes. Yes.
which made no sense. No sense. He also doubled down on his claims that he has done more as president for Black people than Abraham Lincoln since Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
He
I
said,
mean, there's this guy, my favorite president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who actually did the most for
signed
Black people
some
in
signed
this
some
country.
pretty important
Yeah,
legislation.
yeah. I
Here we
mean,
had,
yeah,
I don't know, the Civil Rights Act, the
yeah.
Voting
Voting
Rights
Rights
Act,
Act. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
Fair
yeah,
Housing Act.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Did we forget about those?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
are. I forgot. Oh Lord, what president was it before Johnson who desegregated the military?
Oh, I have no clue. I'm gonna assume
I
maybe
wanna
Truman.
say Truman,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
gonna assume Truman. Yeah.
Yeah. So, some pretty, pretty influential presidents there. I he has yet to, give us examples of how he's been the best president to the Black population since Abraham Lincoln, when all of the evidence is to the contrary.
Hmm.
So, don't know how he 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 noted that the crowd there there was quite a few Black journalists in the crowd, which got a nice laugh. Got a nice laugh considering the fact that it was all
Yeah,
Black
right.
journalists.
You're at the National
Yeah,
Association of Black Journalists. Yeah, I would imagine there's Black journalists there. Matter of fact,
I would
every
think
journalist there is Black.
chances are there's gonna be some Black journalists there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Did they not like give him a rundown before he went on stage?
I think when the National Association of Black Journalists asked to interview Donald Trump, that his camp should have said no. I don't
He
think
can't though.
anything.
He can't say no. He cannot
Sure he
say no.
can.
I mean, yes, theoretically, yes, absolutely he can. Or literally, absolutely he can.
Yes.
Theoretically, no, he cannot. Because it's like, oh, you won't go speak to Black journalists. It just further
He's not done it so far.
what yeah, but he's trying to appeal to Black voters. They got a group out there. They got a lot of, Blacks for Trump. I even
Mhm.
saw a group called the N-word for Trump.
Yeah, of course there's gonna be
I
listen.
I never heard that one before, but I saw it on social media. There's a group that calls themselves the N-words for Trump. And I'm
Mm,
just like, wow, we're not a monolith. We're not.
no.
I was walking in my neighborhood the other day near my little restaurants and shops. And right outside of this restaurant, there was this couple sitting. It was a Black man and a white woman,
Mhm.
young, I'm going to say in their mid 20s. black man with a Make America Great hat on.
Mhm.
And I, me being me, I scribbled a little bit because I'm like, say or do something stupid so I can punch you in the face because, brother, come home.
Right.
like, come home. Not because
Right.
you're with the white woman, because I don't mind that. It's because you
Right.
got this Make America Great hat again. And I just don't feel like that you understand what exactly is going on. Let me get into the NABJ's statement for this. So,
Okay.
the National Association of Black Journalists did issue a statement following the controversy surrounding former President Donald Trump's interview. The NABJ expressed disappointment with Trump's comments and emphasized their commitment to provide a platform for diverse voices and perspectives. They reiterated their mission to advocate for Black journalists and media professionals and to promote fairness and equality in the media industry. The organization also acknowledged the concerns raised by its members and the broader community, and they reaffirmed their dedication to foster respectful and constructive dialogue. Like I said, the full interview is just under 35 minutes,
Mhm.
and y'all can go ahead and check it out. But the reason why they had to make these statements is because there were a lot of Black journalists. It was like, why are y'all giving them this platform?
Why are you platforming this man? Yes,
And
which is a
and
fair criticism.
so much so that the co-chair for the event stepped down and was like, I can't be a part of this. Now, I have mixed feelings about all that. I thought this was a chess move. Not for the National Association for Black Journalists. They weren't doing it for nefarious means. But if I was a political, I don't know, operative, and I'm going against Donald Trump, I really want him to be at this convention to do exactly what he did. The reason why I say that is because the people that are diehard Trump supporters, they fed into this. They love this. I saw some comments on social media saying he was at a DEI convention, which
No.
there are just going to be people out there that believe that and think that you're not going to change their mind. You can't beat them in the head with sense. They are who they are. They're going to be his supporters. They're never going to change. Surprisingly, there are still some undecided voters, and I say surprisingly to others, it's not surprising to me. And this is the reason why I say this. The Republican Party are about certain policies that,
Mhm.
believe it or not, a large portion of the Black community could actually get behind, right? Because a large portion of the Black community is technically really conservative,
Yes.
okay? Church going conservative folks,
Mhm.
really conservative, okay? So the Republican Party is missing the boat on Black voters because they harbor so many racists in their party. What do I mean by racist? Look at the organizations that back them, whether
Yeah.
it's the Patriot Front or the Proud Boys, or even David Duke, the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, ran as a Republican. Anything that has to do with being racist or anti-Semitic, that group associates itself with Republicans. But there
Yeah.
are some people that still believe in that limited government, capitalism, um, ideology of the Republican Party. They
Right.
hold on to that and they vote on, well, this person isn't the greatest person, but at least they'll fight for my policies. The reason why I say that this was brilliant in the standpoint of those undecided voters who can't stand Trump, but will vote for him because he at least is going to stand up for their policies, now have to have a clear come to Jesus moment because he has completely shown himself to be, you can't deny it, even if you want to, a racist.
Yes.
He's leaning into every single dog whistle, not even dog whistles no more. He ain't whistling, he's barking them.
Yeah. And I don't think he's doing it purposefully. I think these are his actual answers to these questions.
Oh yeah, no, this is what he truly believes. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're just seeing him revealed in real time.
the play, the con is not what he's saying at a convention like this. The con is when he's going before the Christian or the Southern Baptist convention
Mhm.
and espousing that he's this deeply religious person when he's never He's
Right.
never expressed that. People seem to forget before Barack Obama joked on him at the House Correspondent Dinner,
Mhm.
he was a Democrat his
He
entire life.
donated to Kamala Harris's campaign.
Right. So this turn and switch, much like JD Vance, because if y'all
Very
didn't
much like
know,
JD Vance.
if y'all didn't know, JD Vance didn't believe a lot of the stuff that he's believing right now. How do we know? Because his best friend when he was in college was a transgender person. And there are emails that are specifically stating where he stood on social
Mhm.
issues, and he was on the other side of the fence. He jumped on
Yeah.
this side of the fence because it's convenient and he
Yeah,
could play that role.
you could just take his words for it. I mean, he was a proud never Trumper. There's
Yeah,
tape. It's like you can just take his own words for it.
just take his own work. But like I'm saying, going back, I think this is brilliant because for those people who are just like, look, I vote for Republican because Republicans' policies are what I believe in as a person. No, I don't like them, but Democrats and their policies are completely against what I believe in. And I'm not even upset at those people because they believe that the country should be a certain way from a policy standpoint. And I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, we just fundamentally disagree on what's better for America. But
Right.
at least you had that conviction in what you believe. And like, I can rock with that. Okay. But them having that crisis of conscience, voting for Trump, and then making excuses. Well, he's not really racist. Why would you say that? Because I've talked to some people who have voted for Trump. And he's like, why would you say that he's racist? Because this, and this. Well, I don't know if this is racist. Right now,
Mhm.
he's showing you,
Yeah. Pretty
and you can't
clearly.
defend, yeah, pretty clearly, he's racist.
Yes.
At the very least, he's extremely bigoted. And there is
Yeah.
a difference. There is a difference. But at
Yes.
the very, both of them
But when
bad.
you have presidential power,
Yes.
you can say racist because then he has the
Yes.
ability to disenfranchise.
Yes, he does. So I understand why a lot of black journalists, some of them have come out and spoke, some of them who I really, really respect,
Mhm.
has said like this was offensive because they are part of that organization.
Yes, yes.
I think from a political and strategic standpoint, this was fantastic. I was cringing and laughing at the same time because
Yeah.
this is what you want. Look, you can't deny
And
it
a and a
anymore.
and it's a net positive for VP Harris.
Mhm.
Like, it was not strategically brilliant for Trump and his camp. It was
No.
the stupidest move that they could have made. This was just it in a time where there are so many in conservative media begging him to stop with the racial and sexist attacks, to talk about literally anything else. Um, this was a terrible move. I just don't understand because he was informed beforehand who the panel was and that it was going to be tough. Like he
He got to choose who was gonna be on that panel, and he knew the questions before he walked out there.
So the fact that he felt like this was all coming out of nowhere. I mean, his response to the first question, which dug in. Shout out to oh gosh, I can't remember her name. Rachel Scott, I believe she's with ABC, came out guns blazing and asking him directly about racist comments that he's made in the past and currently. And I think he called her nasty and rude. And
Yeah,
he didn't
that's what he
even say
does,
hello. That old deflection thing that he does.
well, she coulda
Um,
said hello.
he was introduced.
Well, it was
He sat
I'm
down.
just joking, I'm just joking.
First question. Like,
First question, yeah.
yeah, I think it's fair that just because it ended up turning out well for the Harris campaign doesn't mean that it was still a good idea for the NABJ to invite him. So I
Mhm.
definitely understand how some of the journalists feel. I think it's valid. I mean, this is
Yeah.
sex offender and a convicted felon, and why are you giving him a platform? Like, that's fair.
Yeah,
Just
that's fair.
because it was the train wreck that we all knew it would be and it was wonderful to watch doesn't mean that it was a good idea. So I think that's fair. I also think you better than me because you say you can understand people who will still vote for him
No, no,
because
no, no. That's not what I said. Let me
Hmm,
clarify that. That's
okay.
not what I said.
Because I was about to
I
say you better than me.
No, I know. That's not what I said. What I said was is I understand people who ride Republican and have
Yeah.
voted for him because they do it strictly from a policy standpoint. Let me give you a clear example. I was talking to
Okay.
a friend of mine, and this person is a friend, right?
Okay.
And we laugh and joke, and some of our conversations are absolutely hilarious and probably should be taped and put on air because when we get together, it's just funny stuff going on.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Wouldn't it be great if we had a time machine and could go back in time?" I said, "How far back in time?" He's like, "Yeah, what if we can go to like the 1800s, something like that?" I was like, I'm not going." My Oh, by the way, I dropped the lead on this one. He's white.
Okay.
Um, I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go back then." He's like, "Why? We could just go back in time and see how things were." Yeah, I don't want to go back then. He's like, "Why? I don't understand. We can go back." I was like, "Bruh." And so I started like showing him like my hands and my arms
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I'm black. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that. I said, "That's the height of white privilege." What?
Yeah.
That's the height of white privilege because you don't have to think about that.
No.
I can only go back maybe to the 70s, like if a
Yeah.
choice, a
And and
choice.
and I really don't want to do that. Honestly,
Like
the furthest I would go back is probably 96. Like, that's probably the
at
furthest
the
I would
height of
go
bad
back.
boy, at the height of bad boy.
No. No.
Okay, but the point I was trying to make is white privilege will and if white people get so upset when you say white privilege. It is a privilege. We
Yeah.
all have different privileges. I have a privilege as a male,
Yeah.
right? I have a privilege as a male that I see and move in certain ways that women are just like, I can't move that way. I can't
Yes.
go that way. I can't go down that road at that time. We all have
Yes.
privileges. Acknowledge it and quit taking offense to it and just be like, oh, okay, I do have it, but that doesn't mean that I didn't accomplish that I didn't put work in to accomplish where I got. I just got some help. There's nothing wrong with that. Just acknowledge it. So sometimes the white privilege can just blind you, like my male privilege can just blind me from stuff that women are dealing with.
Yeah.
White people can just be blinded. It's kind of on us to point out. He would have never understood until I had to damn near beat him in the head. No, bruh, I'm black. I don't want to go back to that time.
Right.
So what I was saying was is that a lot of these people that were voting for Trump, some were voting for policy, and that they could overlook the bad stuff that he was doing because he was getting the stuff that they wanted done.
Right.
And they could always excuse his comments and say, well, he's not racist because if they had voted for a racist, what does that say about me? You have to be introspective in that moment. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Now
Right.
it's in your face. You can't make excuses for it unless you just want to make excuses for it. And then you can't help those people. So that's not what I was saying was I understood how some Republicans had voted for Trump. At this point, if you vote for Trump, you are recognizing that you are supporting racism. And this
Yeah.
was a clear example of him showing his hand. He's been doing it since VP Harris has come out and started running for president. He's been doing it, but here's another very clear example in a room of black people when they say that there's all these black voters for Trump. Here he is, and he couldn't even dull it down just one iota.
None.
So if you vote for him now, you just support bigotry and racism, and you got to take a look in the mirror. No
Right.
matter what your policies or what you think is better for this country, you got to take a look in the mirror. All right, Jay, for this last segment, you sent me a video that I thought was extremely interesting.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you sent it to me just from, hey, what do you think about this? This is interesting. Or, hey, I want to talk about this. But I immediately was like, I want to talk about this on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. You're going to be the host in this instance.
Well, this is coming out of Out magazine. Everybody knows there's a Fresh Prince reboot called Bel-Air on Peacock. And in the 5th episode of Bel-Air, Ashley Banks, who is played by Akira Akbar, is talking to one of her sister Hillary's friends, who is an influencer who specializes in sex positivity. And so this is an exchange that they have. And luckily we can't play the clip, but we have the transcript. So I will be acting both parts. No, I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to act both parts. But Ashley asks Hillary's friend, "Do you think the future of sexuality is fluid?" And she responds, "I think the future of sexuality is fluid. I think coming generations won't torture themselves when they define their behaviors. Some people may spend one stage of their lives as heterosexual and another as asexual and even another as maybe homosexual." And so Ashley asks her, "So is it worth it to make these distinctions at all?" And she responds, "Only if those distinctions serve you. Some people feel that sexuality defines them, as a person, others don't. But both camps are totally correct." And I thought this was a really interesting perspective that I totally agree with. And I kind of had this feeling for a while that as we start to get more and more specific about how we identify, and as the acronyms get longer and longer and longer, as more people start to really drill down and how they identify, I think that the story is that it is impossible to encompass all of the ways that people can show up in the world. That the
Mhm.
acronym will continuously get longer and longer and longer and longer. And that the whole point is that we can't be uh qualified or quantified like that. That ultimately um the breadth of human experience is going to ebb and flow over time. You will be one thing at one stage of your life, you'll be something else at another stage of your life, because we're constantly changing and evolving as people anyway as we grow older. And so there's no way for you to have been the same person at 20 that you are at 30, that you are at 40, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. It just depends on, because the circumstances of your life, the point in time in your life in which you're living is completely different from the circumstances of your life yesterday. Why?
Mhm.
Because this is a completely new day with new
Right.
things happening to you and new experiences. And so I just thought that was interesting and I wanted to get your take on it.
I believe the greatest oppressor of humanity are identifying qualifications, identifiers.
Mhm.
Let me expand upon that. The worst thing in this world that I've ever been labeled is just a male. Everybody's going to be like, "What the hell are you going, Bruce?" Follow me. Because my favorite color is pink.
Mhm.
And growing up as a male, pink can't be your favorite color. Pink didn't become cool in the male community until Cameron had the bravery
Mhm.
to wear pink,
Yeah.
right? That females have to be soft and delicate.
Mhm.
That if you are stern or driven like my bestie is, that somehow that's not feminine.
Right.
Somehow you are less than a woman.
Mhm.
If I love to groom myself,
Mhm.
keep my head shaved, maybe get a pedicure or manicure, that's not masculine. For a lot of people out there, they have been stuck in this category of being heterosexual.
Mhm.
And just now, over the last 30 years, it became okay, sort of, to be homosexual based on society's perception. In other
Right.
words, there's still legislation out there that's trying to hold the LGBTQ plus community down. And as you
Yes.
said, that has grown longer and longer over time.
Yeah.
The greatest oppressor are these identifiers because they come with stereotypes of how you're supposed to be, as
Mhm.
opposed to you being your true, and as my man Rick Clemens would say, authentic self.
Yeah.
Sexuality. I am a heterosexual cis male. I identify as he, him, and I love the ladies.
Mhm.
Never been attracted to men, but I can honestly say when a man is attractive.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you couldn't even do that. You had
Yeah.
to do it in kind of an underneath dig tone by calling him a pretty boy. Now you
Mhm.
could just say, that man is attractive. I'm not
Yeah.
attractive to him. That
Mhm.
man is attractive, right? That doesn't make me anything other than what I am.
Right.
But other people are like, yes, that man is attractive, and I'm attracted to that man.
Mhm.
That woman is attractive, and I'm attracted to that woman. That transgender male is attractive, and I'm attracted to him. That
Mhm.
transgender female is attractive, and I'm attracted to her. Why are you restricted with who you are attracted to? Because that's natural. Who you
Mhm.
are attracted to is who you are attracted to. You ain't got no choice. If I had a choice, I would have been attracted to all the women that I know would have loved me and took care of me and treated me like the king that I don't deserve to be, but that they wanted to treat me as. I wasn't attracted to them. Wish I could have been. Tried to, just not.
Yeah.
As our beloved late uncle would say, I like what I like, and people like what they like.
Mhm.
We need to stop trying to put these identifications on what people should be and just accept them for who they are. And I hear this, we're going to get this on YouTube. People are going to say, well, stop pushing your lifestyle on me. Nobody's pushing their lifestyle on you.
Literally not.
Matter of fact, why don't you stop pushing your lifestyle on them? Because heterosexuality dominates
Yeah.
our society,
Yes.
right? Dominates it. What does that do for the people that are homosexual? Well, it's not natural. If it's not natural, then why do they feel that way?
Right.
That's the most natural feeling in the world. What you
Attraction.
like. Yeah,
Yeah.
attraction. Like, you can't control that. If you could control it, you would, but you
Yeah.
can't.
Right.
You can't control what you like and what you don't like. I don't like broccoli. There's nothing that you could do to broccoli to make me like it. I don't
Right.
like it.
Yeah.
You can dip it in chocolate and
Ew.
have Alicia Keys feed it to me.
Yeah.
I still won't. Well, I might,
You'll eat
but
it.
that's neither
You'll
here.
eat it.
That's neither
You'll eat
here
it.
nor there.
Don't
That's neither
lie.
here nor there. But I can't stress enough that these identifiers are the great oppression of a person, and I can honestly say that because I know so many people that are part of the LGBTQ plus community that
Mhm.
have gone through hell just being them.
Yeah.
How would you feel if all you wanted to be was you and you couldn't be you because society is telling you the you that you are is wrong?
I'm gonna I'm gonna well, not disagree. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit. So
Okay, here we go. All right. We going into overtime, folks. We weren't supposed to go this long because we're doing back-to-back shows, but okay, challenge me because I'm trying
all
to
right.
grow.
Yeah. So I don't have any problem with being a woman. I actually love it. I wouldn't want to be a man. Ooh, no. I would I love being a woman, and it is just as me being black is a part of who I am, me being a woman is a part of who I am. Me being identified as a woman does not disenfranchise me. The problem and the issue is with society. And you touched on it. You touched on it. It's not the name, it's what's associated with it.
Yeah, that's so what are you challenging me on? I'm not real clear.
To let go of the issue being the identifier and start challenging the systems that are in place that constrict people under whatever identify. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but
it's
I'm
not,
saying
it's,
personally, I have, and I think if I didn't make that clear, that's what I believe. I'm
yeah, because
saying,
I think you're saying the same thing.
yeah, I'm
I'm
saying
just
it.
saying it's not the name. It's not the name like, it's not being identified as male that is keeping you from, um, like, displaying the whole breadth of your personhood. It is patriarchy.
Yes. However, we are saying the same thing. We are in it.
Yes,
This
I
is one of
think we
those rare
are.
times where we're agreeing and debating at the same time. Welcome to
Yeah,
our world, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's a
You know, we're saying
semantic issue.
it's a semantic issue, and you're going with, yeah, it's society's problem. I'm saying yes, it's
Yes.
society's problem. It's society's problem because they say this identifier is what you should be. I'm not saying that people have to adhere to that identifier because I am a prime example. You know me, I got pink everything.
Yes.
I wear pink now. Like
Well,
there
the
is
the
nobody that's going to stop me. I'm saying that the society doing these identifiers are oppressing people to be their authentic self. And it's up to these people who want to be their authentic self to just say, to hell with it, I'm going to be there. But there are still some people that are still closeted and still hiding themselves.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
because they're
for
in one of
sure.
those flyover states they're evangelicals, their family is deeply religious, don't believe in it. They don't feel like their family would accept them. Maybe their family would, maybe their family wouldn't, because there have been cases of these deeply religious families saying, I love you no matter what,
Yeah,
because that's what Jesus would tell me to
right,
do.
right.
Because
Um,
that's what Jesus would tell them to do because they're a
and I always
follower of
hate that.
Jesus's teachings.
I have
Um,
always hated that. I've always hated that response of, like, "I love you no matter what," because what the
I'm
implication is.
Yeah, I okay, I didn't look, I'm not a
No,
great
no, no.
orator,
It's
okay?
no, that is the response. Like,
That's yeah,
people who well-intentioned people are like, "I love you no matter what." Like, the implication is that there's something that is unlovable about me.
right,
What I'm telling
exactly.
you is all of the things about me are lovable.
Yes, and so I agree. I'm
Yeah.
saying the problem is with society.
Yes, we
It's
agree
these
on that front.
restrictions that society is saying, "You're this, that way you should be this." And we're
Right.
we're not that. We've never been that, and it's caused people, especially men, who have always had the highest suicide rate between the genders.
Mm.
It's caused men who didn't want to be, who couldn't live their authentic self. And I'm not saying that they were um, a part of the the LGBTQ plus community. I just screwed that all up. I've been having some drinks, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm a bit nervous
It's
right
the
now.
happy hour.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm a bit nervous right now because I'm just trying to focus.
Yeah.
It could have just been like, hey, I want to dance. What do you mean dance? You mean like square dance? No, I want to do ballet.
Mhm.
Why can't I do ballet? We don't do ballet. We don't really even dance. Well, I like ballet. I want to sing in the opera. Well, we don't do that here. That's not very manly. I want to. This is for me and my generation.
Mhm.
I want to be in theater in high school.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we do. We're jocks. We play sports. I
Yeah.
could play sports and be in theater. I want to go in the theater. I want to go act.
Yeah.
Nah, we can't do that. I'm mad at myself for not being an authentic person and combating against it and going against the wind when everybody calls me the natural contrarian anyway. But there was a limit to where I would go.
Right.
And
But
I'm
I mean,
saying
part of that is,
society and its labels have done that to people. And some people, it becomes so overwhelming to
yeah.
not be their authentic self that they unalive themselves. So
But it's
this
not the
issue that,
labels, it's the systems.
yes, but the systems create the labels. That's what I mean. The systems create the
Right, but I
labels.
just want the focus to be on that. Like, we even when we start to talk about doing ballet or liking pink, we need to interrogate why we consider those things inherently feminine. Why do we even consider those things feminine? Who decided that a shade of red that is a little paler, this like, a little bit
You
more white mixed in, whatever the Pantone
you
number
want to know
is,
what's crazy?
who
Some
decided that that was feminine?
money decided it because there was a point in time in our society, in American society, where little boys could have the color pink.
Yeah.
And somebody decided, no, blue is masculine, pink is feminine. And
I
we
mean,
still
it's
pray,
so arbitrary.
and we still do it today for the baby reveals. No matter how we
Yes.
evolve as
Yeah.
society,
Ooh,
we are
y'all,
still
stop doing them
designated.
gender reveals.
Yeah, please stop doing it.
So
Stop
weird.
doing it.
You
Stop
having a
doing
whole party about your kids' genitals. It's weird. I don't
it.
care. It's weird.
It is weird. It is very weird. But I hope I came across this with
Yeah.
clear what I think about this. I think this conversation in this episode was brilliant. And this is another reason why I love Gen Z, because they are asking these questions.
Mhm.
The majority of them are not living in any type of darkness or any type of closet. They are being, the majority of them, their authentic selves, or at least trying to discover what their authentic selves is.
Mhm.
And that's our entire search in life,
Yeah.
is to continually find out who we are, because we are constantly evolving as people. And I love what
Yeah.
she said, that, hey, one stage of your life, you might be heterosexual. Next stage of your life, you might be asexual. Next stage of your life, you might be homosexual. And guess what? I know people who have done that.
Yes.
I know people who have been heterosexual and then asexual, and you're just like, wait a minute, you haven't had sex in 10 years? No. And then the next thing you know, they're with somebody of the same sex. And it's
Yeah.
like, this feels right. I'm like, okay, well, live your best life.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're happy, I'm happy. Who wants to rain on anybody else's happiness just because it's different from the way you live? That's weird. That's weird. That's weird to care so much about other people that you feel like they can't live a life that they're living because it's different from your own. That's weird.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah, I think the whole purpose and point is that um people are infinite and limitless and are capable of incredible things. I mean,
Not limitless.
I think that we are. I think we have the capacity and the potential to be we've been to outer space.
Yeah, I know, but I can't I
Like we
can't I
continue to
can't
grow
become Superman. So we're not limitless.
limitless in
Okay.
our human potential.
Well, I agree and disagree, because, like, that old expression, if you work hard, you can achieve anything if you work hard. That's a lie. That's not true.
No, 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 no. Limitless in our potential, in our human potential
Okay.
as as a species,
Right.
Bruce.
Okay. Right. No, I mean, yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree with
talking
that.
about every
Well,
individual person is going to be a rocket scientist. That's obviously not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about human beings have limitless human potential.
yeah, human potential, not Kryptonian, though.
Well, because that's a made up thing that doesn't exist.
No, Krypton is a real element in the periodic table.
Well, kryptonite is, krypton is not. And
Actually, it's Krypton.
it's
Yes,
kryptonite.
it's Krypton. The element is Krypton.
The element is kryptonite.
You want to pull it up on Google right now?
I
And
am doing it
this is how we're
as
going
we
to end the
speak.
show,
And
because
this
I
is how
guarantee
we're,
you it's Krypton.
and
I
I
guarantee
don't
you.
know how to spell it.
It's Krypton. Krypton. I know how to spell it. You know why? Because it's an element. Because I was in chemistry class my junior year of high school, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, Krypton, that's an element." And you and
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
right.
You're
I know
right.
I'm right. I know I'm right.
Okay. Okay. Relax.
Okay.
Okay. You are
No,
correct. I
yeah, I
am
just don't
confusing
even know
it
why
with
you
the
even question.
fake ass element, kryptonite.
Well, kryptonite isn't even an element.
Well, whatever the heck it is.
It was
Because I don't know nothing about it.
it was
Because I don't
it
know
was a
nothing about it.
radioactive piece of the planet. It wasn't an element. Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson when we need him? Neil, when you gonna come on the show?
Literally, that's our dream. I don't know if people know this, but I feel like that's our dream.
That is our dream.
Guest. And Bruce, if you don't invite me to that interview, I will murder you.
As we book in the show, Jay, what do you want to tell the people out there?
If labels serve you, use them. If they don't.
Yes, because that's exactly the point that she was making in the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both are correct. You're right.
Yeah.
If you want to identify as something, or if you want to identify as nothing, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Be authentically you. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holler. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching into it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.